events, and so yeah, it's a cool thing. So we've jumped out of the Centenario, we've jumped into this for a much more kind of a fantasy off-road experience here. You know, so this is, you were saying earlier, very articulately a bioluminescent cave.
Yes.
So it's like glowworms and
so cool.
and stuff. Yeah, and again, so obviously we research the location.
Yeah.
You know, we not only look it up, but we send people out and take photographs and take videos.
Yeah. So
and
nice
that was something
to go out to Australia.
Well, you say that, but this was, Australia is so large. There's so much driving, so much travel involved.
Yeah.
It's a pretty arduous research
I can
effort.
imagine.
So I'm kind of glad I didn't have to go on that one. The guys that did really worked hard for it. But yeah, so the glowworm cave, the bioluminescent cave back there it actually exists in real life.
Yeah.
So we were like, we have to put that.
Oh, completely. And then also when I first played, I didn't notice it, and I was like, oh, look at the beautiful balloons in the sky. And there's something quite interesting about like how you recorded the sky, like how you create the sky.
Yeah, so we're seeing it here. This is a time lapse of what the skies do, and these are skies, Australian skies, authentic Australian skies. These skies actually happened in Australia last year, and we were there to capture it. So we built a completely custom camera rig, HDR 12K, that we constructed it ourselves, built it ourselves very expensively, and then we sat it out in the outback and also near the coast, pointing upwards and capturing these skies. And we did that for a long time, so we had this huge library of skies, and then our guys back at Playground wrote some incredibly cool tech that allowed us to project it onto the skies, blend them together. So these are real Australian skies, and what's great about that is you get all the variety, you get all the drama that you get from a big Australian sky, always changing, always evolving in the game.
Yeah, now we've got one of the showcase races, and there's a guy being flown around from the bottom of the helicopter. So this is the helicopter that we saw earlier on.
It is, yes, and he is, the helicopter is now dangling a Jeep with a guy in it, which is inadvisable. I think it's a bit dangerous, but video games, it's fine. If you do video games, it's joy. And Horizon is, at the end of the day, Horizon is about fun.
Yes.
It's about kind of over the top action. We never take ourselves too seriously, which I think is really important.
Oh, completely.
And so this might not be the most realistic event, but I think it's one of the most fun things we've ever done. It's cool to have
it's
it here.
really cool, and I just want to say, I just went from rough ground to tarmac and now to the sandy beach, and you can feel on the controller each of them has a different feel to them immediately.
Yeah,
and it
absolutely.
really, really makes it feel real. Oh gosh, it's drift there. That's the best thing. That was the thing that I love doing most in this demo is drifting in this buggy.
Yes, I mean this buggy is great.
Fun.
What's great about it is that you can actually see the suspension travel. It's huge suspension. You can actually see it going in and out as you cover the terrain as it undulates. And it's a lot of fun to drive. It's so much fun.
So much fun. Like, cause I have to say, on our team, Graeme is the one who absolutely loves racing games, so he's going to be very jealous that I'm getting to do this stream. But like, this is the type of driving game that I love. Here's the crocodiles, and they like run in there. No, hang on, I'm going to rewind. I rewind so we can all see the crocodiles again, because they're really cool. I love all the little touches. There they go. There they go. Straight in there. Through the spray.
Whoa!
Oh, I took that corner a little bit. I'm trying to rewind. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Rewind. I'm a bit stuck. Yeah, go on.
Huh. Oh, the controller's gone dead.
That's it. We said there's an issue. In the streaming room we're in. Yeah, exactly. We're out on the floor. There's a ridiculous number of Xboxes. So every once in a while, like you do something in here, and like, oh, we've lost the controller. So it's all good. But yeah, no, it's a brilliant little game. Like I said, little, it's a huge game. Because could you tell, like you said, you went to Australia and you mapped things out a little bit. Like, could you tell us a little bit more about the map in general? Yes.
So the map is, I'll give you some stats to start with, right?
Yeah.
It is twice the size of the world of Forza Horizon 2, which came out a couple of years ago. And that wasn't a small world by any stretch, but yeah, it's twice the size of that. But that's not the important thing. The important thing, like I was saying earlier, is diversity, right?
Yeah,
that's what Australia gives us, and that's kind of what we give to players in terms of exploration and discovery, which is a fundamental thing about Horizon.
Yeah.
And we want them to be discovering new locations and new environment types all the time. So our world needed to be bigger to accommodate all these different terrain types, the rainforest and the outback and the gorges and canyons and what have you. So yes, it's, as I was saying at the top, it's kind of it's like a mixtape of Australia in many ways. It's like we've taken these bits that really spoke to us, that really inspired us, and we've pieced them together. So it's not an authentic one-to-one recreation of Australia.
Yeah.
That's slightly beyond video games capabilities, right? At the moment. But yeah, I like to think that it's kind of a tribute to the beauty and diversity of Australia.
Yeah, because it's important. Like, it's all well and good having a huge map. If you don't have that variety in there, you're just driving around the same place for a long time. So it's really lovely, like driving through and seeing it. I think the demo really shows off a lot of really cool, like different places as you're driving around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. So I've got a quick question, like of like kind of the cars that we've seen so far. What is your favourite?
So yeah, that's a really good question. So the Centenario, I kind of have to say, because it's like such an important part of our game, and seeing it out there, it's the first time I've seen it in the flesh. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It is amazing. My favourite car in the demo was actually the BMW M4.
Yeah.
It's probably the most mundane. It's not a mundane car by any stretch, but it's the most mundane of the cars we have in the demo. But it's the first time that we have had wide body kits in the game.
Yeah.
You know, so if Brian sort of goes to the BMW when he gets a controller that works, you know, we can show off that body kit. It's something our fans have been asking for a long time, right? They're all, we want more customization options, and we hear them. This time we've been able to deliver on that.
Nice.
Really, in a big way. The BMW, as Brian's showing us now, really shows off this new customization ability that you have. Wide body kits, this is a Liberty Walk kit for those that care about these sort of things. We've got Rocket Bunny kits as well. And yeah, it's really cool. Well, actually our customization options in this game go much further than
sorry, just have a little move around. Yeah, so all the customizations, how much further they go?
Yeah, so big overhaul of visual customization in this game. Lots more options, rally parts, off-road parts, more than 30 new wheels, which is cool because that's a big refresh on our wheels list, and we've gone to some of the coolest manufacturers of wheels. Again, if wheels are your thing, it's probably meaningful, but I'll give you some names: Rotiform and ADV1 and 1552. And if you're into customization, you probably know those names and be excited about it. And if you're not, you won't. But such is life. A cool story from that is actually that ADV1 are one of the coolest wheel manufacturers at the moment.
Yeah.
And they weren't in our game, and we went to speak to them about being in our game, and they were so excited by that they actually offered to design a completely custom wheel just for this game. So there's an ADV1 Forza exclusive wheel rim, in this game.
Right, cool. So car fans are going to be having a field day.
I hope so. Yeah. We've done a ton of things in this game to keep them happy, and I'm excited to see the response.
Yeah, I mean it. Like as I said before, like I don't really play a huge amount of racing games, but when I got my hands on this, I was just like, yes, I need to play more of this, because I just love the variation in it, and it's just gorgeous place, like to be driving around.
Absolutely. So we kind of think of ourselves, we are a racing game, but we kind of think of ourselves as an open world game as well.
Yeah.
And I think being a blend of those two things makes gives us an appeal which is broader than just racing. Like yourself, people come to this who are maybe not racing fans and find a lot to enjoy. And few things make me happier about this than somebody who said, I'm not a fan of racing games, but I love Horizon.
Yeah.
You know, because it feels like we're actually reaching people, which is kind of what we do this for.
Yeah, and we're just having a look at the first-person view at the moment, so you can see all the interiors there and all the work that's gone into that. I mean, it looks like it's very bumpy, and it shows like just like how kind of visceral it is, really, like, and how like it gives a good idea of like the suspension on everything, and how the cars perform. But it just looks really, really cool. But one of the other things as well is you take a lot of care in like your sound engineering.
Absolutely. I mean, it's no exaggeration to say that the audio is as important as the visual in our game. You know, so we take as much care over that as we can. Our audio guys have done a phenomenal job on this game. A couple of really sort of big new advances in terms of technology, in terms of like processes, and also I guess there's new features as well. Like, so we're looking at the sea here, and you can drive in the sea. We saw earlier driving through a sort of a big puddle and a river, which we've never really done before in Horizon games. So there's a whole bunch of audio effects that we just didn't have. So the challenge there for our guys is, hey, how do we get the sound of a car driving in the sea without actually driving a car in the sea, which is kind of difficult. So the way they solved this was they actually went up to Scotland, to St Andrews.
Oh, that's where I went to uni.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
so you know the
well.
big flat beaches there. Yeah,
West Sand's huge. Yeah,
absolutely. And there is kind of, I think they call it kite sailing. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah,
so it's basically
the kite surfers.
Yes.
Yeah, I used to see them all the time. Yeah.
So what's great about that is it's big wheels in contact with dry sand, wet sand, and surf.
Yeah.
But no engine noise.
No.
Right? So they can go and they went and recorded that.
Yeah.
And they got the pure sound of tyre on these different surfaces, which is like the key thing that we need to get in order to deliver that. And then obviously that plays from the tyres when whatever car you're in's engine is playing from the engine.
Yeah.
So they went up and mic'd up these kite buggies thing and got that sound. But they've done a whole lot of car recording for this game. There's like you said, there's a bunch of new vehicle types that we just didn't have before, like this racing buggy.
Yeah.
Now these are a particular challenge for those guys because there aren't very many of them, right?
Yeah.
A production car, you stand a chance of finding one that someone will let you mic up and razz around an airfield.
Yeah.
But these ones are much harder to come by. But they do their due diligence, they do their scouting, and they convince people to let us mic them up and get the authentic sound into the game.
Excellent. So we've got a few things in the chat. Kaz Plays says graphics so good, it's realistic. I mean, the graphics are fantastic on this.
I mean, it's amazing. I've heard people say this week that it feels like a generational leap over Horizon 2. Which is great, right? Because it's actually not a generational leap, but it's testament to how well our engineers and our art team have worked together to really to push our visuals.
Yeah, no, it looks amazing. I'm trying to see. Our mate Matt Newstead, who helps run our streams, one of our Xbox On guys, so pretty.
It is pretty.
It's very pretty. There we go. Right, let's have a look through. Quick question: when you use the rewind feature, do you suffer a time penalty? That's from Mark Hilton.
That's a good question. So in this game, for the first time in the Horizon series, it's not a time penalty per se, but what we do now is that we give you what we call a dirty lap, which means that on a leaderboard we distinguish your time from somebody who didn't either rewind or hit a wall, which is to discourage wall riding as well. So it's not a penalty. We want people who want to use rewind to be able to use it. Right? We don't want to penalise that. There's some people for whom rewind is the thing that lets them play the game, like yourself, for example, as we saw earlier. but for those who are really perfectionists and really want to have their driving skills stand out, now we're separating those two different classes of people.
Oh, this is a particularly cool moment.
Isn't it?
Absolutely love this.
The dude
just
with
like,
again, highly inadvisable from a health and safety perspective.
Just in video games, people.
Yeah.
People discussing the sky, saying, I think that's the clearest blue. Yes, listener, I think that is as well. And people saying, oh, it's like you're sat in a real car. I mean, it must be quite nice to see like people saying stuff like that about your game.
It's amazing. And do you know what? This is what's so great about this. Because E3 always, certainly in the past, has tended to be a bit of a kind of a private members club. You know what I mean? And the fact that we're able to stream this and show everybody what it is we're showing here on the show floor is great, because ultimately this is the audience that matters, right? And this is what our team back at Playground in the UK will really get a kick out of.
People discussing, because my fellow presenter Benny, it is a bit of a sucker for restarts when it comes to doing challenges. So people just discussing in the chat about how he's going to be utilising the rewind feature quite a bit.
Well, that's what it's there for. There's no shame in it.
No, completely. People saying, they want a steelbook. I think people are already excited to get their hands on it.
That's brilliant. Yeah, I'm excited for them.
No, it's great. So, what's your favourite thing been this week about kind of revealing your game and seeing people get hands on with it?
So a bunch of things. It's been kind of a long week already, right?
Yeah.
So we were here over the weekend preparing for the briefing. The briefing is always an incredible buzz.
Yeah.
And I really felt it this year that the people inside the room at the Galen Centre were just incredibly excited everything that was happening. So it was great to be able to announce the game at that. People kind of thought it was probably coming, but it was great to really sort of announce that properly, and get a great reaction from the crowd. The cheer that went up when Andy did the kind of barrel roll.
The barrel roll.
Right?
That was the coolest moment. I spoke to him afterwards, and I was like, "It's well done." Doing that in front of millions of people watching.
He's kind of like ice cold, right? So that was brilliant. And then it's kind of been non-stop since then. But yesterday was fantastic because it's obviously the start of the show. People are coming in, they're playing the game, and the response we've had has been phenomenal. Right? So it's kind of what the team back at Playground have worked so incredibly hard for over the last 18 months, but particularly over the last sort of 6 to 8 weeks, getting this demo into the shape it's in, and I'm just so delighted for them that we're getting this response and they're reading it and hopefully feeling really, really good about the work of them.
It's well deserved, all the praise that you guys get, because it was so much fun. I came off after trying it, and I was just like, that's really good. I want to play more.
Have you played on the sled?
No, I need to do that because you've got a sled set. Yeah, tell everyone at home about that.
We have two sleds which are kind of racing seats but with pneumatics in them. Really, really sort of high-powered pneumatics. I now know about pneumatic sleds. So we threw away the stock 3-inch actuators and we got 6-inch actuators, which are kind of like the things that make it move. And it is a real bone-rattling experience. And you really feel the difference between the three cars. If you start in the Centenario and then you go to the truck and then you go to the buggy, you totally feel how different they are. Their interactions with the surface, with the ground. And it's so much fun. And it's running on Windows 10, which obviously we're coming to Windows 10 as well as Xbox One. It's running in 4K. And 4K is something you can't unsee.
No,
it's just like, okay,
beautiful.
that's a lot more pixels. So that's great. So that's a really great experience. You should come and if you have 3.5 hours to spend to spare, just straight for it. Then you should absolutely actually do that.
Completely. And before we kind of go, let's talk a little bit more about kind of co-op feature, because that was a big part of the reveal.
Huge part, yes. And so this all starts, I think, with Xbox Play Anywhere, which we talked a lot about at the briefing on Monday. And I think there's a ton of cool things that people are going to get excited about here. It's all upside, for gamers, right, for players. So first of all, it means if you buy digitally, if you buy the digital version, you get Xbox One and Windows 10 version, no extra cost. You get to play them both, and that's cool because you can play on Xbox One and then you could go and play on Windows 10 and pick up exactly where you left off. All your save game carries over, your progress, your achievements, it has all that that sort of stuff. And it's just seamless, which is great. But yeah, what we were showing on Monday was the crossplay aspect of it. It means Xbox One players can play with Windows 10 players, which effectively means you get to play with your friends, regardless of which platform they're playing on, which is kind of the point of gaming, right? It's I want to play with my friends. I don't want to have to think about the hardware doesn't allow that, or they haven't got the same version. It just the hardware, the platform almost kind of just disappears. It fades away, and it's just I want to play this game with my friends and have fun, and that's kind of what crossplay offers, which I think is brilliant. And co-op is the perfect expression of that, because co-op is just having fun with your friends, right? It's really laid back. You're all on the same side. You're all trying to do the same thing. I think we've really done co-op right in this game, because we wanted to do it before in previous Horizons, and there's a temptation that you can just bodge it in, you sometimes see that, and it's like, okay, we'll do co-op, but only in this tiny bit of the game. But we wanted to do it with the whole game. We wanted to make sure that if you can play it in solo, you can play it with your friends, and that's what we've done. And what that means is the experience is just really fun. It's one of those you can always tell in the development studio. When people are spending time testing a feature, as they should, and then those tests start to run long and they spend more time on it, it's like, oh, okay, you're just having fun now, aren't you? Which is great. So that's always kind of the litmus test for that, and the guys back in the studio are loving it.
Brilliant. Well, I've just finished off with some questions from the chat.
Sure.
There's people, someone asked, someone's very excited, saying Xbox One Scorpio, FPS 60, Forza Horizon 3, they just can't wait to get their hands on it. Mini Morg asks, will there be a demo like with Horizon 2?
That is a good question. So we haven't got anything to announce about that yet, but he mentions the Forza Horizon 2 demo, and I love that demo because I think it was a really big, generous demo, and it also showed people, hey, this is what our game is. We're not afraid to show you, a big chunk of it because we're really confident in it. I'd love to think we would take that kind of approach again.
And also someone asking, Tomek asks, was Forza Horizon 3 made with Scorpio in mind?
So, I guess what's interesting about this game is it's the first time we've done Xbox One and Windows 10. So our minds were very much on, okay, how are we making a Windows 10 game and an Xbox One game? And obviously with Windows 10 there's a ton of new things like mouse and keyboard and stuff like that, We are always looking at the future, and I'm excited by the future. I'm excited by the concept of beyond generations, right? As Phil was talking about on Monday, because as a developer, I just make games. I want to make
amazing games.
Well, that's the goal, right? That's what we want to do, and we want to make great experiences for our player. We want to make them players. We want to make them really beautiful, really fun, really big, and anything that technology can do to make that easier for us and to allow us to achieve those goals, I'm excited about. But at the moment, we're looking at September. We're looking at Xbox One and Windows 10. And I'm feeling really good about it.
Yeah, it's really good. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I think that's all we've got time for. But thank you so much for showing us. I can't wait to drive around your Australia. It's so much fun. It's just going through the rivers. It looks so good. It feels really good to play, and also I've been playing it on the new controller, which feels really excellent. I can't wait for you guys to all get your hands on it as well. But thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for giving a bit of insight into the game.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming. And do be sure to subscribe. We're doing all E3 stuff this week. It's been just chaotic but beautiful and brilliant, and so many games. I'm so happy. So youtube.com/xboxon, subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and we'll see you for the next stream. So bye.